everybody. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sarah. I go by that divination witch. On this channel I share readings. Today is the blood moon eclipse and I am here with Hecate. I have been filming some other videos with her and for her, and she's kindly agreed to give a collective message. So I am just seeing what comes out. This is a message for, well, the collective, for this eclipse energy. Okay, now obviously is a good time to work on what is holding us back, the things that limit us, whether that is limitations placed on us by other people. But I do strongly feel it's not just placed on us by other people. She is telling you to work on those limitations that you place on yourself. Because, my friend, you are your own worst enemy. You can internalize so much here. And ultimately, when you do that, you are taking it on board, you are integrating it, you are becoming one with it, you are believing it. And that belief is a false belief. It is not a real belief. You are imposing limitations on yourself. And that is what you need to really be looking at this eclipse season, this moon. People talk about manifestation. People talk about setting intentions at times like this, of letting go of external factors. And that's all well and good. You know, yes, we should let go of pain, and we should be working towards tomorrow, working towards our hopes, dreams, desires, our true alignment. Yes, do that. But if you don't release what is internalized, your manifestations will be subconsciously blocked. You can't expect miracles when you are still holding on to doubt, when you are still holding on to self-deprecation. Why would the external change for you when the internal is the same? Because the internal reflects in the external. The microcosm affects the macrocosm. So even if you change your external world and you don't do the internal work, your internal work, that or lack thereof, it will catch up on the external and just change it back. That's why there would be a blockage in your manifestations. So if you are somebody that is clearing obstacles, that is working towards a goal, that's great. But you've got to address what's inside too. Do not forget that. And I feel called out by that too. You know, I have goals that I am working towards, that I would love to achieve. But what holds me back is my self-limitations. It's that little voice in the back of your mind that says, well, you're not good enough. Or you're not as good as this person. You know, you compare yourself to others. It's the imposter syndrome. It's the comparison. Well, as they say, comparison is the thief of joy, and it truly is. So I may, for a time, have short-term results, but long-term, the internal catches up with the external. And that's what Hecate wants to remind you all of. This is just a quick reading, that this eclipse, you should be working on you as well. Meaning your shadow work, meaning your inside. Now, shadow work is a buzz term that's used all over the place now. What the shadow is, we all have one. It is our darker side, it is our insecurities, but it is also our anger, it is also our frustrations, it is our desires that we are not like fully aligned with, like our shameful desires. I'm thinking in my head, like, if you are an addict, you know, for me it's chocolate, right? My shameful desire sometimes is is the sweet tooth, you know. Someone else could be vaping or whatever. It's that kind of thing. The things we're a bit ashamed of, the things we're like, oh, don't like this about me. Could be negative body image, negative self-talk, all these things. That's the shadow. And it's part of our psyche, and we all have one. And sometimes shadow work is not appropriate because not everybody is in a strong enough state mentally to deal with all the shadow. I understand that. Not a lot of people say that. Not a lot of people make that known. Sometimes if you are unpacking deep-rooted traumas and you don't have support and you don't know what you're doing, you can just make yourself feel worse. But when she's saying address the shadow, you can try your best to do so. If you are not capable of doing so, do not unpack things that can't be put back away. You know, if you haven't got that support, get that support. You know, go have professional help. There's nothing wrong with that. Have counselling, whatever you need. But if you are able to address it even on a small scale, it doesn't have to be something mega, but just something for that progression is what she's saying. Something to aid in that manifestation energy, okay? It doesn't mean you're curing everything overnight here, okay? But if you are able to just address one small thing, do it this eclipse. So if that is something little like, I don't know, you destined post a certain picture of yourself. Like I've known people, and I've been like that in the past. You know, you take some pictures, say you're out with your friends or you're visiting somewhere, you're on vacation, and like there's one where you're like, oh, I don't like how I look in that picture. Well, post it anyways, you know, take the plunge. If there's something like that, surface level even, it does impact deeper than you realise, you know. Even if you don't feel so good one day and you're like, oh, I just want to stay home. I just want to stay inside my shell. Try and push yourself out of it, you know. Say yes to more things where appropriate, okay? If you are introverted, for example, and you're being asked, oh, do you want to go for a meal or go, I don't know, see a movie or whatever, and you just want to stay in your shell, try and say yes this eclipse season. Try and say yes. It doesn't mean you have to stick around for hours on end. It doesn't mean you have to go along with every single thing. Even if you just show up for a bit, you know. It's about addressing those things, not enabling yourself to remain in the shadow. That's what this eclipse season is about. So remember, it is all well and good dealing with the external factors, but it's the internal as well. And if we don't deal with that internal stuff, it catches up. And that's what Hecate is like as a goddess, you know. She is long term. She looks at the bigger picture because ultimately she doesn't want anyone to feel lost. She wants people to be living their true, authentic lives best as they can, you know, so they don't become a lost soul. And that is the message, essentially. So I really hope this helped. And yeah, if you liked it, if it resonated, please hit like, leave a comment, all of that jazz. And thank you. Take care.